What is up, everyone? Happy Football Friday. Getting a little frigid here in Milwaukee now. Under 60s. What are we doing?
Dude, I don't know what you're complaining about. This is when I thrive.
I was freezing until my sweat kicked in this morning working out. But
Sure.
anyways, yeah, big upset last night. We'll start with that, and then we'll get into the bunch of news going on. We got trades. It's not the trade deadline, people, but we got 3 trades to talk about, and yeah, a great weekend of football ahead with some solid matchups, and especially NFL. NFL was very difficult to pick this week. I thought.
It
Um,
was probably the most, what's the word I want to look for? Probably just the most competitive week of football so far. I had tough times picking a dog, and I had a tough time picking a lock.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So here we go. We all got duped last night. Ryan Fitzpatrick was the only person in the whole country that picked the Bears, probably. Uh, but yeah, the Bears' first win of the season, 40-20, blowing out the Commanders in Washington. Um, yeah, I mean DJ Moore. That's the game.
This was the DJ Moore game. I mean, even with the Bears being bad, man, that Carolina trade looks awful. Like, awful every day. Even if it was just a straight up first pick for like their first round pick and DJ Moore, it would have still been a loss. And somehow it will continue to get worse for a couple years.
It's okay. It's still early. Still only 4 games in right now, and Bryce Young will get it together eventually. But anyways, Sam Howell really, I mean, he ended up with good stats. They just couldn't do a lot in the first half. Just came on too late, but they couldn't run the ball at all, which I was pissed about against going into this game, one of the worst run defenses in the league. Uh, so that was very disappointing from the Brian Robinson standpoint of fantasy owners like myself. But anyways, yeah, Sam Howell, 37 of 51, 72.5%, 388, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 4 carries for 19 yards. Justin Fields, again, I think the DJ Moore factor inflated his stats.
Yeah, you only had 52 passing yards, like a receiver not named DJ Moore.
Right. And the thing is, like, he's almost just above 50% completion. Looked like crap in the second half.
Oh, he was. I mean, Washington got back in the game because Justin Fields just couldn't get a first down.
Yeah. Yeah. So I still don't. The Bears fans are probably going crazy after this game. Like, oh, yeah, Justin Fields is the GOAT. I mean, I don't know. I don't. You're the NFC North person. You're probably
I
tapped in.
mean, he's not horrible. He is definitely a product of a horrible system. In the last 2 weeks, he's looked very good, in my opinion. But his limits are very obvious. And the problem I have is that Luke Getsy and Eberflus just cannot fix his limitations. And not only that, they seem to emphasize his limitations. They seem to make it worse. So I think Fields has the potential to be anything in the world he wants to be, but that potential is based entirely on how well he can develop more than just being a two-way quarterback. Because I mean, he's not great in the pocket. He holds on to the ball too long, and this game shows even a very good game by his standards, he's very one receiver heavy. Like if DJ Moore was hurt this game, I think this would have been a rout by the Commanders.
Yeah.
Not to discount a good game by either Fields or Moore, but it's just reality in my opinion. That's just reality in my opinion. That sounds like an oxymoron, but it's just what I saw.
Yeah, I'll continue to be a Justin Fields hater. It's only one game. One game doesn't win you anything.
One win in
Except one
344
game.
days.
Right. So still not a believer. but cool. They got their first win. 15 to 29 though for Fields, 51.7%, 282, 4 touchdowns, 11 carries for 57 yards. And I don't even count that game last week anyways. For one, they blew the 21-point lead, and for two, they're playing the worst defense in the NFL right now in the Denver Broncos. Khalil Herbert, 10 carries, 76 yards, led the game in rushing before injury there. I was kicking myself for not starting him in fantasy, and then he got injured, and I was like, 7.6 points on the bench isn't terrible.
I'm 100% surprised that he didn't get a much worse injury. Like, that ankle looked flipped around.
Well, they said the ankle. I was looking at the knee.
That entire right leg looked wonky.
Yeah. Mentioned Brian Robinson had a crap night. Luckily, he caught 4 for 33, or else it would have been very, very disappointing. DJ Moore, the big game, second most receiving yards in a game in Bears history. 8 catches, 230 yards, 3 touchdowns on 10 targets. Logan Thomas, also a big night for Washington. Caught 9 of his 11 targets for 77 touchdown. Key fumble, though, didn't end up hurting the Commanders, except it did because it cost them time with the Bears, even though the Bears, I believe, went 3 and out after that. But still took, a minute and a half maybe off the clock that they didn't get in the fourth quarter back. So I was happy that Curtis Samuel scored, salvage, and got a lot of garbage points in fantasy. 18 and a half was nice to see. And then defensively, who do I want to go with? I'm going to go with, I guess, the winning team. Bears defensive end, DeMarcus Walker, free agency signing this year from Denver. 4 tackles, 2 solos, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, 2 QB hits. Do want to mention, though, Chase Young looked like his old self in this game. 2 tackles, 1 solo, half a sack, 1 pass deflection, 3 QB hits. The move that he made, I can't believe they only gave him half a sack. I don't really remember Montez Sweat being there at the point of attack. But the move that wasn't a sack, I don't think. I think Fields got it away. But anyways, the move that he made on the offensive tackle was just I tweeted out about it. I was like, that is exactly why they drafted Chase Young in number 2 overall. He went outside quick, lightning quick back inside, easily beating the left tackle to the quarterback. So just wanted to mention him as well. Bears +6 win outright over 45. And I knew once they announced that Dick Butkus had died, I was like, bro, there's Washington has no chance. They have the spirit of freaking Dick Butkus on their side now. Like, come on.
The craziest part too was like it felt like every other play in the second half of Bears defender was going down, and it didn't stop them at all. They still played very well, going down like third string guys
because they had an invisible 12th player on the field.
Had the Dick Butkus.
All right. XFL news. So we got some more information about the XFL USFL merger today from the Fox. I forget what his exact title is. Fox Business something. But anyways, he said so the merged league, which is reportedly going to be the NSFL, National Spring Football League. That will reportedly be carried on Fox, I guess strictly on Fox and Fox networks, which is a change from what we had, where USFL is on all Fox networks, and then the XFL was signed with ESPN and NBC. So that's a little bit of a change. And then the league would look to start selling teams to independent owners in about 3 to 4 years, they said.
I'm a big fan of this. I love the XFL when it first came back. I was devastated when COVID just destroyed it. It just felt like the worst possible thing to happen to a league that I actually found super interesting. I found the sideline interviews interesting. I found the kickoff rule interesting. I found the extra point rule super interesting. It was football that I knew, but unique enough that I was like, you know what, this is different enough from the NFL that I can watch this and still be entertained, even though there's a very obvious discrepancy in skill between this league and the NFL. So I'm really rooting for this merger, and I hope it works out.
Yeah, I think it'll be good still. I mean, again, business as usual right now. We'll get to a bunch of signings in the USFL, which is in free agency currently. XFL planning a draft. It's annual rookie draft in, I think they said November sometime. So we'll see if that occurs or not. But USFL news, like I said, free agency currently. The New Orleans Breakers not signing free agents, but bringing some guys back. Defensive tackle Reggie Howard Jr., all USFL last year. Corner Adonis Alexander. Linebacker Nigel Chavis. And wide receiver Lee Morris. So a bunch of guys on defense, and then a wide receiver that played well for New Orleans last year. Or this year, I guess. The Breakers. They signed Generals wide receiver Cam Eccles-Looper. It's a really solid special teamer and wide receiver there going to New Orleans. So they are signing. I misspoke. They are signing some free agents. And then the Pittsburgh Maulers. They signed Generals running back Trey Williams and Stars wide receiver DeAndre Overton. So Trey Williams, big get for Pittsburgh. They've had issues running the ball the 2 years the USFL has gone. It just has not worked out with a guy like Garrett Groshek. So pivoting to Trey Williams, I don't know the exact roster, what it looks like right now, but I would expect Trey Williams to be in the competition at the very worst for the starting running back spot in Pittsburgh. College football, there's a lot going on right now in college football. It's very weird. But so first off, some rules stuff. The Division I Council, they have eliminated the 25 player limit for off-season player acquisition. So you used to only be able to bring in 25 players, which included both freshmen and transfers. Now you can bring in as many players as you want. As long as you stay under the 85 scholarship limit, you're good. So this is going to, I mean, the transfer portal was already ridiculous. But now with this, the transfer portal is going to go even more wild than it did this year, I think. It's going to be weird. Wild, wild west of NIL money and transfers. Speaking of transfers, we have a new conclusion, I should say, to the North Carolina Tez Walker situation. The NCAA has now approved UNC wide receiver Tez Walker's transfer waiver, eligible immediately. So I would expect he's playing this week against Syracuse. We'll see, though. And it was really odd because what the NCAA said was they received new information that North Carolina could have brought to the forefront earlier in the process, but they didn't. And that with that new information, the NCAA approved the transfer waiver. I'm pissed that I want to know what the information was. It's probably protected by HIPAA and everything like that, whatever. But yeah, it's just so odd that it's like, oh yeah, we got this new stuff now. Cool, you're in. I don't know. The Big Ten, they announced their schedules for the 2024 through 2028 seasons. And I have the 2024 one up here. I mean, I don't know if we're going to actually talk about it a lot, but I'm still pissed. Penn State still doesn't have a protected rival, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I don't understand how we don't play Ohio State and Michigan every single year because, I mean, in 2024 at least, I didn't save all the schedules, but in 2024 at least, we're at Ohio State. We don't play Michigan though, which I'm pissed. Like, I want to play Michigan and Ohio State every year, and that's not going to happen now. But one big thing with the schedule, the Big Ten commissioner said that because of how they're going to be set up with the 4 teams on the West Coast, any team that plays a game 2 time zones over, 2 time zones away, will not then play another their next game at 12 p.m. Central. Yeah, the next week they won't play a noon kickoff Central Time game. So, yeah,
I think it's a good rule. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I still hate the expansion though, so that's all I got.
yeah, and I mean, it's obviously we don't have like the actual like weeks of when these teams play right now, but I am excited though. I think with at least obviously I'm looking at just Penn State's schedule. Penn State has a national championship worthy schedule in 2024 because their 4 home games in conference are Minnesota, Purdue, USC, Wisconsin, or the away games. I mean, those are the away games, and then the home games are Illinois, Maryland, Ohio State, UCLA, and Washington. So like they get 3 out of 4 of the expansion teams right away next season.
Good luck.
Luckily, they only got to go to California once, though, for USC. Without Caleb Williams, hopefully. And last thing, college-wise here, the former Northwestern head coach Pat Fitzgerald is now suing the university for $130 million for wrongful termination.
Yeah, good luck.
Well, he's got a lot better chance than Mel Tucker does. but he's suing for almost double what Mel Tucker is. So that's kind of the tougher point, I think. But you got a highball, right? If you're going to get a good settlement.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So let's get to the trades here.
Couple good ones.
So we're going to start off in New England. Getting Mr. INT back. Corner J.C. Jackson going to the Patriots along with a 2025 7th-round pick from the Chargers for a 2025 6th-round selection. Signed a 5-year, I believe it was $72.5 million contract last year. Worked out well. But knows the system. It's a good trade for all sides, I think. Actually, not really. I mean, the Chargers, I feel like they still need corner help. Outside of Asante Samuel, I don't even remember, and Michael Davis. Those are the only 2 corners I can think of on the Chargers right now.
Yeah. Another one of the classic, hey, he was in the Belichick system and he played really well defensively. Maybe we should sign him to a big contract. Oh, he doesn't play well in our system? Oh, that sucks. I swear I've seen it with basically every free agent Patriot not named Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. It's literally just like, hey, this guy was on the Patriots. Surely he's good. And then they sign them and then he doesn't play like he did in the Patriots. And everyone goes, wait, Bill Belichick is a really good coach. How do we forget this every time?
Especially defensively.
Oh, yeah, defensively.
Um,
Like another one I can remember is like Kyle Van Noy. He went to the Dolphins and he didn't play well. Who else? I know there was like another linebacker that they had.
Trey Flowers.
Flowers, yep. So yeah, it's just don't sign a Patriots defensive player. It's just he's not gonna translate to your system. Belichick is a very, very, very unique defensive system that works very well. And he knows the personnel. So like, why? Like stop doing this to yourself. They're not going to be the same.
It's the intrigue.
It's the intrigue. It's these teams just telling themselves, I'm different.
Well, I will say I think Jason McCourty worked out okay for the Titans.
Yeah.
But he didn't get a massive deal though. Like,
that's true. Yeah, if you sign a big Patriots defenseman to a big contract, it's going to blow up in your face. But if you take a flyer on a guy, like I know Malcolm Butler did okay with the Titans too on like very cheap deals. So like if you're gonna give a guy more than like $10 million if he was a former Patriots, just burn that money. It's not gonna work out.
All right, the second trade, the first of two that happened today. The Dolphins getting another playmaker. They traded for wide receiver Chase Claypool and a 2025 seventh for a 2025 sixth to the Bears. And I didn't say this to anyone today, but I was thinking it, waiting just for this show to say it. The Bears might have won last night, but they really lost again.
they somehow did. It took less than 24 hours from their victory yesterday to just take another massive L. You traded the 32nd overall pick who turned into Joey Porter Jr., who he's still a rookie, but man, he looks okay in this, pretty okay in the Steelers defensive system. He's playing starting minutes. You gave that up for Chase Claypool. What? The crazier thing, too, is that the Packers were also trying to get Claypool for the same draft stock, another second-round pick. But they kept it and got Jalen Reed. Holy cow, the Bears just keep losing. And the Packers just somehow always get on top.
Yeah, I think Jaden Reed has, I know, at least 3 touchdowns already this season, playing well while Christian Watson was out. And even with Christian Watson there, he's still number 3, I believe, on the depth chart there. So, yeah, one of the biggest fleeces in NFL history, maybe, that Claypool trade for Pittsburgh. I love it. And let's get to the third one here that literally just happened, like, I don't know, an hour ago. The 49ers adding another pass rusher, right? What do they need? Oh, yeah, another pass rusher.
Another one.
Acquiring defensive end Randy Gregory and a 2025 seventh from the Broncos for a 2025 sixth. And it was interesting because it was announced a couple days ago that the Broncos were releasing Randy Gregory.
Yeah.
But if you can get value, you can get value, right?
Yeah.
So signed a 5-year, $80 million deal last year with Denver. Had the same deal on the table with the Cowboys, but didn't like the contract language, so went with Denver. And yeah, the Broncos are paying him $10 million to be on the Niners as a part of this trade. Niners paying the vet minimum to him. So, and he has just like J.C. Jackson with the Patriots, all of his money. The rest of his years on his deal are non-guaranteed now. And just kind of back to the J.C. Jackson, the Chargers paid J.C. Jackson a $7,777,777 bonus to facilitate the trade. And then the Patriots are paying him $1,555,556 the rest of this year.
So they get him for a bargain bin setup. Great asset management, Chargers. Fantastic.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this one, I love this for Denver because they want to get their younger guys playing. Guys like Jonathan Cooper, Nick Benito, who I absolutely love. Nick Benito from Oklahoma, drafted this year, I believe. He's a rookie. No, last year, second round last year, last pick in the second round last season. But yeah, super excited. Great player. Had a couple sacks last week against the Bears, so hyped for that. But yeah, Randy Gregory, I mean, he's going to eat with all the single coverages that he's going to get with Bosa on the other side.
Yeah. I mean, for the Broncos, you're thinking, all right, we were waiving this guy literally 2 days ago, and now we have an opportunity to move up, I would say maybe 10 picks in the draft. And you take it.
All right. General news here. I mentioned legendary Bears linebacker Dick Butkus passed away yesterday, age 80. Don't think we need to really say any more about.
Great legend. Played in a very fun era of the NFL where hard hitting was the norm, and he was the hardest hitter. Like, he was a mean SOB out there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, the NFL world and Chicago Bears are going to miss him, and hope his family's doing well, and just hope he can continue to be an inspiration to the Bears for the rest of this season.
The Broncos, they are going to wear their snow-capped helmet versus the Jets this week.
They're pretty.
So here is what it looks like. If you were wondering. This. But when I first saw this, I was like, bro, what are they going to wear with it, though? I need to know, because I do not think their blue jerseys will go well.
I think they're going to do all orange, if I remember.
I really don't like. I don't know why about this helmet. Usually I like the all white look, like the Bengals, but I think it's the orange that throws the all white look off for me. But yeah, like you were saying, that's the jersey I would play. I would play with the orange, and I'd play with white pants.
Yeah, I would either do orange or orange white. I think that would be the best look. Because if you look at this helmet, there's not too much in terms of just like blue. So having a full-on like blue uniform would be very off. I think it would not match.
Yeah, we don't just talk football on here, people. We give fashion advice as well.
We are fashionistas. I mean, look at my sweater. It's
IR and PUP returnees this week. The Jags, they opened the practice window for linebacker Dwayne Smoot. Panthers doing the same for guard Austin Corbett. That would be massive to get him back in the middle of that line for Bryce Young. And Texans also doing the same for offensive tackle Titus Howard, coming off the broken hand, and punter Cameron Johnston. Not sure if Howard's going to play this week. Johnston will. And then the Bears, before last night's game, they activated guard Tevin Jenkins off IR. He played in the game last night. A couple IR guys here. The Texans, what's new in Houston, losing another offensive lineman, placing offensive lineman Kendrick Green on IR. He tore his meniscus. He is out indefinitely. Not sure if he's going to be able to come back this season or not. And the Dolphins, big loss for them. Left tackle Teron Armstead placed on IR today as well. Knee injury, not season ending though. They didn't say exactly what the knee injury was. It was a knee injury. So they said he should be back for the stretch run though, which I'm excited about for Miami. Injuries. This is what all the fantasy people want to listen to. So tune in. The Patriots rookie corner Christian Gonzalez out for the season, torn labrum from a dislocated shoulder on Sunday. And Jimmy's defensive rookie of the year ticket is burning.
He was doing so well too. Like he was off to a hot start. Like didn't he win like defensive rookie of the month?
Yep.
First month of the season. I was like, yeah, I saw it. I was like, yeah, I got one. I got this. And then that tackle happened. That was super unfortunate. I mean, oh well. That's probably why they traded for JC Jackson anyway. So that sucks for me. And sucks for him.
I mean, yeah, at least your pick is going to be out for the whole season. He's still going to get closer to the defensive rookie of the year than mine is. So
yeah. You should have went with your guy, man. I was surprised he didn't go for
Nolan Smith barely has played on defense.
I'm so surprised he didn't pick Jalen Carter. I was shocked.
It's okay. Who did I forget who Logan?
I don't think any of us picked Jalen Carter.
No, we didn't. I know that. I forget who Logan went with. Why do I not? Where are they saved on my phone? I don't know. Anyways, oh, maybe if I click see all, maybe that's how I get to where I want to go. Nope, it's not. Whatever. Anyways, so Logan went with I don't even know. Thought it was posted to our Instagram. Apparently not. Whatever. Ravens injuries. Wide receiver Rashad Bateman with a hamstring. Corner Marlon Humphrey with a foot. Offensive tackle Ronnie Stanley with a knee injury. All returned to practice yesterday. We'll see what their statuses are for Sunday. Cowboys and 49ers getting a couple of their players not totally 100%. Cowboys linebacker.
I found who he picked. He picked Will Anderson Jr.
Right. Cowboys linebacker Micah Parson with a knee injury. 49ers wide receiver Deebo Samuel also with a knee injury. Like I said, both not going to be 100%, but will play Sunday night. Raiders just announcing quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo has cleared concussion protocol, so he will be back on the field against the Packers in Vegas on Sunday night. Or Monday night, Monday night. And then the Bears, couple injuries from last night. Running back Rashawn Johnson and center Lucas Patrick, both in the concussion protocol. Ins and outs. Bills defensive end Greg Rousseau, he is out. Also for the Bills, linebacker Von Miller traveled with the team to London, expected to play. Von said 94.5% he's on towards playing. So I think he's going to play.
Probably.
And make his season debut.
That's what we deserve.
He's officially listed as questionable, though. Jets, some defensive back injuries. Corner DJ Reed with a concussion. Corner Brandon Eccles with a hamstring, both out this weekend. Ravens wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. expected to play, returning after a couple weeks out with his ankle injury. Giants running back Saquon Barkley, also with an ankle injury, is listed as questionable. I think he's going to play, though. this weekend. Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp making his season debut on Sunday from the hamstring ankle injuries that plagued him during training camp. So it'll be interesting to watch that dynamic, him and Puka Nacua on the same field. Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett with his bone bruise on his knee. He is expected to play full participant in practice the last 2 days. Tight end Pat Freiermuth with a hamstring injury. He is out as expected. They said 2 to 3 weeks anyways for that. Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins with his rib fracture. He is listed as questionable, but again, like we said on Tuesday, he thinks he's going to play. So Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown. He is doubtful. I can't remember what his injury was. Anyways. And then rookie running back Jahmyr Gibbs is questionable. And finally, for the Eagles, defensive tackle Fletcher Cox with a back injury and guard Cam Jurgens with a foot injury. Also, rookie safety Sidney Brown, I believe, with a hamstring, all out this weekend. So one guy on each side of the line for Philly. And one release to talk about, the Bears, they released guard Nathan Peterman. That was in conjunction with the Tevin Jenkins activation off IR.
Devastating. The Peter meme is dead.
Vikings can pick him up now.
Yes. Give me the Peter meme.
And then one signing, the Cardinals, they signed veteran running back Damian Williams to their practice squad. And one workout to mention, Jets working out corner Terrence Mitchell this week. It's kind of surprised he didn't sign with the injuries they had at corner, but I have not gotten a notification that he has signed yet. So whatever. College pick standings. Look at you, sir.
I'm sticking around.
You have now climbed to tied with myself for second. We are still 3 games back. I had a devastating week.
Devastating.
Lost 2 games to Logan. But, yeah, Jimmy won the week 21-3. I believe, let's see what the Lone Wolf sitch was last weekend. Yeah, you went 2-1 in your Lone Wolves. You lost NC State against Louisville, but then you got Clemson right over Syracuse and Ole Miss right over LSU.
All right.
Logan went 1-1. He lost Florida against Kentucky, but then he got Troy right over Georgia State. And I went 0-2. Utah lost to Oregon State, and then South Carolina lost to Tennessee.
Happens.
So yeah, it's not been a great Lone Wolf season so far. Logan is 3-2 in his Lone Wolves. I am 3-5. You are 7-9.
Dude, I go for it, man. Someone's got
it. In college football Lone Wolves, anyways. All right, picks this week. We got 1 game tonight to talk about. There's actually 2 going on, but this is the only one we're picking. Kansas State, Wildcats, 11.5-point favorites at Oklahoma State. We're all on the Wildcats, as we should be. Mike Gundy, I don't even know how he's gotten this team to 2-2, but I don't think they have their quarterback situations figured out yet still in Stillwater. So the better quarterback is Will Howard. The better team is Kansas State, and they should get the 4-1 on the road tonight.
Yeah.
Total is 54. I like the over. 7:30 on ESPN. Tomorrow, we got the Red River rivalry. I had to say it that slow because I can never say it fast. Alliteration gets you every time.
Alliterations of ours are awful because you try to do them and then you sound drunk. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a Red River rivalry.
Yeah. I usually get screwed up on the on the river part for some reason because it's
from
two rivs. It's two rivs in a row. So it's
yeah,
like
it's going from like D to R in Red Riv.
Yeah.
It's just your lips just disagree with that jump. Red Riv. It's like it doesn't work.
Number 12 Oklahoma though at number 3 Texas Longhorns 5.5 points at home, and we're all picking the Horns as we should. Oklahoma finally looked like the Oklahoma we thought they would be this year last week, but it was against Iowa State, who's not good this year. Texas, meanwhile, took care of business in a ranked matchup last week against Kansas. So, yeah, I mean, justifiable that we all picked Texas. Anything can happen, though. It is a rivalry game. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. But Texas should be the better team. And I think they'll shut down Quinn Ewers, or they'll shut down Dylan Gabriel. Pretty much like Cincinnati and SMU did 2 and 3 weeks ago, where they held Oklahoma under 30 points in both those games. Look for Jonathan Brooks again. He's been super impressive this year, the running back for the Horns here. Total is 60. I'm hitting the over.
Yeah, I think that's an over game.
Last year's game was there was only 49 points scored. They were all by the Burnt Orange, 49-0 for Texas last year. So Oklahoma's got that in the back of their mind. That's been the thing all week with Oklahoma, probably 49-0. That's the only two numbers you got to know this week for the Sooners. See what they do with that. 12 p.m. on ABC. I don't like that it's at noon, though. Like, this should be a night game.
Definitely.
Anyways. Maryland at number 4, Ohio State. 19.5 for the Buckeyes at home. And Talia Tagovailoa is going to go into the horseshoe and upset number 4, Ohio State. Book it. It's going to happen.
I don't hate the pick at all. I still think Ohio State, Texas. I think that spread is massive. That's a wild spread to have for this game. I was expecting maybe like 8.5 to like 11.5. 19.5 is weird. I have a lot of faith in Maryland to keep this game very interesting.
Maryland is one of the most disrespected, undefeated teams in the country.
Hey, like I said last time, the most dangerous college football team is an undefeated team not ranked. It's like they want to be ranked real bad. And this is a game to do it for Maryland. I don't think they can. I think Ohio State just has too much talent on both sides of the ball. And I don't think Maryland's defense is is good enough. And Ohio State is coming off an off week, so I'm thinking they're going to be well rested. And they might have a slow start, but I think they're well rested and they're going to play pretty well. But yeah, I think it's a good game. I think it's going to be something like 34 to like 30, like something real interesting.
So, just for history's sake, right? Maryland has never beaten Ohio State. They're 0-8 against them. 0-4 at home, 0-4 on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Maryland averages 23 points in the series. The last year, though, they lost 43-30. And it was a close game for most of the game. 2 years, the last 2 times they played before that, 2021, 2019, they got blown out badly. Both in Columbus. But then the one that I loved, 2018, they had the chance to win the game, and they didn't get the 2-point conversion. 51-52 loss in overtime. That was at Maryland, though. So, I mean, historically, they've gotten blown out in every game but 2 of the 8. But it's Talia's last chance to get Ohio State. I'm just saying. We'll see.
It'll be a fun one. I ain't denying it.
Total was 57, and I am rolling with the over because that is what history tells you to do in this series.
Yeah, I think both teams score over 25. Probably, like I said 34-30. So I think both teams hit the 30 mark.
12 p.m. on Fox. Big noon kickoff. Number 23, LSU at number 21, Missouri. I couldn't believe y'all let me do this one.
I was thinking it. The only reason I didn't, it's just going to sound stupid. I don't see LSU going 3-3. I don't think they could fall to that. I think Missouri's very good. I'm kind of surprised they're not the favorite here. But in my mind, I'm just like, there's no way LSU falls to like a 500 record, right? That's what I was thinking with this one.
I don't have a problem with it. I'm just picking the better team. And when you look at it, so PFF, right? When you look at the grades, they're pretty even. But there's two things for LSU that stick out like a freaking eyesore. The first one is tackling. They're graded under 60 in tackling. So that's terrible. That is really bad tackling right there. And the bigger thing that I think is an issue, even though it's a little higher of a grade, it's 60.5. The coverage grade, 60.5, also very poor. And that's the bigger issue that I see with LSU's defense. The offense is going to score. They're going to score some points because they've scored 220 points, but they've given up 155. So they're a plus 65. Mizzou is less than that. They're a plus 56, 164, 104 against. But I just think the LSU defense got torched last week against Jackson Dart and that Ole Miss offense. I think the same thing is going to happen. It's in Columbia. It's a road game. And Brady Cook is cooking right now. Him and Luther Burden are a lethal combination for the Mizzou Tigers there. And I think LSU is going to struggle to cover Burden all day. So, I mean, we might get a game like last week, but I think the Mizzou defense is a lot better than LSU's defense. The total for this one, 64.5. I like the over. 12 p.m. ESPN. Rutgers at Wisconsin. And I
Let's go.
I did not see anyone picking.
Dude, it's because I'm insane.
Charlotte Knights.
I'm insane. Someone's got to pick them. Listen, they're 4-1. They're winners. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't believe in Wisconsin at all.
What they played?
I don't care. You're 4-1. You win the games in front of you. I don't believe in Wisconsin at all. Let's go Rutgers, man.
Rutgers' one loss is to Michigan. Wisconsin's one loss to Washington State.
I mean, you lose to Michigan. I mean, it's not the biggest gripe on you.
But they gotta go. They gotta go to Camp Randall.
Oh well, they got this.
They gotta go to the jump around place.
Oh no, not the jump around place. Oh, oh no, not the. Yeah.
I just think Wisconsin's coming off a bye. They're going to be well rested, and I think they're finally starting. The wheels are starting to turn finally for the Luke Fickell offense, and Tanner Mordecai is getting a little bit more comfortable. I think the Badgers win. Rutgers will keep it close like they did with Michigan though early on, but I think the kind of like that game, the overall talent I think will take over in the second half.
Who knows?
Total is 44. Going with the under, just under. A little bit. 31-10. 12 p.m. on Peacock. I can't even watch it anyways. I don't got Peacock. Marshall. No one wanted to pick the Thundering Herd. The 4-0 Marshall Thundering Herd at NC State. 6.5 for the Wolfpack at home. But yeah, the defense. I'm still rolling on the NC State defense. I know they have 2 losses, but you look at they let up 13 points against Louisville last week, and they lost. That's tough to lose giving up 13. So, yeah, NC State's defense should provide them with a win here. And they're switching quarterbacks. MJ Morris, the sophomore quarterback, taking over for Brennan Armstrong, the Virginia transfer. See how that plays out. It's a good game to do it, though, against a non-conference opponent, albeit a 4-0 non-conference opponent. Total is 44.5. Under. 2 p.m. How about this? On the CW network. I can't believe we are having a freaking football game on CW where I watched Riverdale and other shows.
I think the most shocking part about this is that you just admitted to watching Riverdale.
I don't care. It's a great show. It's a very, very sad ending.
All right.
7 seasons. 7 seasons down the drain. Number 13, Washington State at UCLA.
My Cougars.
Yeah, I don't know why they're dogs on the road at UCLA. I understand the Bruins are 3-1, coming off. I believe both are coming off a bye, considering both only have 4 games. But UCLA has shown me nothing to think that they're going to beat the Cameron Ward-led offense. So, yeah, I mean, how can you not pick Washington State? I'm not sold on Dante Moore, the freshman quarterback for UCLA yet, even though it's going to be a stark contrast from the defense he just played 2 weeks ago against Utah. But and Washington State has given up some points in the fourth quarter. But I think, again, the Washington State offense should be able to win this game for them. Total is 59. I like the under, I think. 3 p.m. Pac-12 Network. Virginia Tech, the Hokies on the road at number 5, Florida State. Seminoles getting 23.5 at home here. And
not too much of a surprise here.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how Virginia Tech even has 2 wins. Them and Virginia, both Virginia schools are absolutely trash right now. So, yeah, Florida State should have a good day at home there in Tallahassee. Total's 53. I'm hitting the over. Seminoles by themselves. 3:30 on ABC. This is the game right here. Number 11, Alabama. 2.5-point favorites at Texas A&M. I was kind of surprised no one wanted to take the Aggies.
It was almost too sexy of a pick.
They beat them 2 years ago at Kyle Field. They barely lost last year in Tuscaloosa. But I just couldn't. I couldn't because of the Max Johnson quarterback thing. No Connor Wegman. Max Johnson got the win last week for him. But I just can't. I mean, it's going to be close. It always is between these two. I just don't think Jimbo is going to be able to get Saban twice in 3 years.
I agree.
The total for this one is 46.5. I like the under. The Alabama defense has the advantage in this game as well. At least per the grades on PFF. 3:30 on SEC on CBS. Syracuse at number 14, North Carolina. And I think because of the Tez Walker situation, North Carolina jumped a point and a half because for most of the week they were sitting around 8, and now it's 9.5, which makes sense. Tez Walker, a very dynamic wide receiver. Hopefully he plays well in his first game of the season and first game with North Carolina after transferring from Kent State, I believe, as far as I can remember. Tez Walker, Kent State, I think so. So, yeah, Syracuse coming off the Clemson loss, North Carolina coming off a bye. Might be closer than this. Syracuse might cover, but I think Drake May can get it done. Total's 59.5 under. I don't think that's going to get close. 3:30 on ESPN. Go Dogs. Number 20, Kentucky. At number 1, Georgia. 14.5 for the Dogs. They will not cover that. Kentucky plus 14.5. Should be a hammer. Tough win last week over Auburn. It's a rivalry game, though, so it's expected to be close, I think, anyways. And like I heard today on 24/7 Sports with Josh Pate, Georgia got killed last week because of the quarterback run game. But that's not what Devin Leary does. Devin Leary can't run the ball. He has, like Josh Pate said, Devin Leary has negative rushing yards on the year. So if they want to run Ray Davis like they did last week, good luck, because it's not going to be easy against the Georgia defense. And I think Carson Beck showed some resolve last week coming back. It helps when you have number 19 to throw to, but he did a good job in the second half of bringing Georgia back, just like he did against South Carolina. I mean, that's what you have to do in these SEC matchups, especially, the South Carolina was an SEC East matchup. Auburn was a rivalry game. Here, another big SEC East matchup. So, yeah, I mean, night game in Athens. It's going to be lit, as it always is.
As it should be.
Dogs on top.
Arbor.
Total is 48. I like the under.
Really? I like the over. I think Kentucky's offense will get a couple touchdowns in.
Nah, under. Georgia's allowing 13 points a game, I believe, this year.
All right.
7 p.m. ESPN. Number 2, Michigan, 18.5 on the road at Minnesota. The Gophers, 3-2, fighting through some youth on their side with Ethan Kaliak-Manis, the sophomore quarterback there. But I like Minnesota to cover, plus 18.5. Minnesota has a nasty defense, and I think they might turn McCarthy over at least once.
Yeah.
So keep it close most of the game. I like Minnesota to cover, but Michigan to win probably. I think this isn't a trophy game, is it? I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think they are a trophy game.
Total 46. Yeah. That's what I like. Give me an under 46 here. Somehow we're going to make it under.
Oh, wait, this is a trophy game. It's a little brown jug game.
Okay. I was thinking about I don't know who it is, plays for the Oak and Barrel, but That's the one I had in my mind.
Oak and barrel. You know, I have a nice little thing called Google. That's the
The old oak and barrel.
it's Hoosiers and Purdue. So
Okay.
Indiana and Purdue. So
This game here, 7:30 NBC. Arkansas at number 16, Ole Miss. Yeah. Ole Miss coming up off the big win against LSU last week. Shouldn't have a problem with Arkansas. They've struggled all year. KJ Jefferson just has not been the player I think me and a lot of people thought he was going to be when he came in this season, came back for another season, I should say. But yeah, Lane Kiffin's got that offense pumping after the Alabama loss 2 weeks ago, and they should take care of Arkansas at home in this game. Our guy Danny Potter saying the M game for Minnesota. Watch the Gophers upset Michigan. There you go.
You know, Potter, I really hope they do. You know, it'd be just it would justify everything we've been saying on this show for the past like 5 weeks. How much we don't believe in this Michigan squad.
This game here, 63.5. I like the over because I think Ole Miss is going to score a bunch, and then Arkansas just helps them out by getting the last couple points they need. Danny said, "Give Wisconsin a chance."
No, I love my Scarlet Knights. I love it. Let's go.
This one here, 7:30 SEC Network. Big game here in Louisville, Kentucky. Number 10, Notre Dame. 6.5 on the road at number 25, Louisville. Yeah, I mean, Sam Hartman had to be Superman last week, come back against Duke, and he did it. I thought that's what he would do. When I didn't watch most of that game, but I got home in time to watch the final scoring drive for Notre Dame. That's what Notre Dame brought Sam Hartman in to do, is to win games in close situations because of the veteran leadership that he provides. Don't think he's going to need that as much in this one. Louisville has been fantastic ever since we watched them play Georgia Tech week 1. And Jeff Brom's done a great job so far. But just think Notre Dame is the stronger and grittier team going into this game.
I have some bad news. My girlfriend discovered who Sam Hartman was last week. And it's over. It's over for me, guys.
GQ.
I know, man. I mean, his flowy hair, his perfect beard, like I'm screwed, man. We can never go anywhere in Indiana. We just have to avoid it at all costs.
Did she get one of those T-shirts like those other girls had?
Thankfully, not yet.
His face on it.
No, don't you dare. She just said I should. No. How dare you?
Total in this one here, 54. I like the under. I think both defenses play well and hits the under on that one. This one was going to be before the Ole Miss game, but then they changed it. Make sure you watch your watches on this one. 7:37 p.m.
7:37. It's like a jet out there
on ABC. 7:37 p.m. ACC matchup: Georgia Tech at number 17 and Miami. Miami's kind of just coasting right now. Yeah. They really haven't had a lot of big matchups since the A&M game 2 weeks ago, and they were on a bye last week. So should have no problem taking care of Georgia Tech, who's kind of fallen off after a decent start to the season. So go Canes.
Go Canes. The U.
57.5 here. I like the under. Don't trust Tech's offense enough. 8 p.m. ACC Network. Number 24, Fresno State, 6-point favorites at Wyoming. We're all on the Bulldogs here. You know what? We have some ranked matchups this weekend, but I'm telling you, this might end up being the best game of the weekend.
I agree. I almost picked Wyoming for this one. Just like even if they're losses, they played in their loss. They played really well, and I mean they're playing at home. They got a good crowd. I just thought I watched Fresno last week. I was like, wow, they played really decently. So I'll stick with Fresno, but man, it was like a coin flip for me trying to pick this one.
Yeah, I was disappointed last week in Fresno, only putting up 26 on a winless Nevada team, but they only allowed 9. So again, it's winless Nevada team. It's tough to gauge how that game went, but yeah, Wyoming, their one loss is to the number 3 team in the country, who they played very well until the fourth quarter and let 21 straight go by. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a close game. I think Wyoming +6 is a good lean on this one, and I'm just trusting the better quarterback, Mikey Keene, for Fresno there, and his weapons that he has on offense has impressed me so far this year. But nighttime in Laramie, man, that's toughest, one of the toughest places to play.
It's a tough one.
It might be tougher, than Death Valley. Who knows? Total is 44. I like the over. 8 p.m. on Fox. Number 15, Oregon State at Cal. 8 points for the Beavers on the road. Should be pretty easy for DJ Uyunglele there to go in. But Cal has been stingy. Some of their games they played, I believe, they played USC close, I think it was. I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Cal covers and keeps it close. Oregon State, good win last Friday against Utah. And let's go Beavs. 51.5 here. I like the over, I think. Pac-12 after dark. How can you not hit the over?
Fair point.
10 p.m. Pac-12 Network. Last FBS matchup here, Arizona at number 9. USC. Trojans getting 21 at home. You should be hammering Arizona +21, everyone. Hammer Arizona +21. Very confident in that pick. Not confident in USC's defense after what I saw against Colorado last week, almost blowing that game. Caleb Williams is going to Caleb Williams. But I was super impressed by Arizona's. I think he's a freshman quarterback. I think it's Fifante or something like that. The kid played well last week, and they lost to Washington by 7. So, you're telling me they can't cover 21 against USC, who is a lot worse defense than Washington is?
I think they cover. I mean, after that Colorado game, they kind of their defense at some point in the game just goes on autopilot and just gives up 2 straight scoring drives.
Mm-hmm.
It's either going to be it happens in 1.5. So it's either going to be a first half explosion to start the game for Arizona, or USC is going to get off to a big lead and defense is going to go on autopilot and they're going to give up 14 or 17 points in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, the total's 72. That's the biggest of the weekend.
I think it hits.
Sure. Why not?
Why not?
10:30 on ESPN. Get your coffee out. FCS game of the week, number 11, Western Carolina at number 24, Chattanooga. The Catamounts against, do you know what the UTC mascot is?
I'm going to be surprised. Is it like a train or something? I don't know.
They are the Chattanooga Mocs.
The Mocs?
Well, they're mockingbirds.
Oh.
but they're called the Mocs. That's why their mascot's name is Scrappy Mock.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, the Catamounts versus the Mocs here. Big matchup in their conference. And Western Carolina, this is our guy Mark, his school that he worked at before going to UGA. They played well, and they've risen the ranks the last 3 weeks, up to number 11 now. Big road matchup in conference. Pretty much, I think this game will decide this conference, anyways. Trying to the SoCon Southern Conference there is this matchup. So yeah, we're all on the Catamounts here for this one. This one's 4 p.m. ESPN Plus. Look at you go, sir.
Look at me.
Go.
I'm doing all right. Rusty, where are you?
Another 12-3 week for
Feeling
you,
good.
Mr. O'Malley.
I'm good.
You have now built a 5-point game lead over Logan.
What's this?
I am a
I'm getting calls from
9-point.
ESPN.
I am a 9-point games back there. Yeah, it's the Lone Wolves for me, dog. You went 1-0 on your Lone Wolf. You got Tampa right, beating New Orleans.
I knew it. Never doubt Baker Mayfield.
And I once again went 0-2 in Lone Wolves. I had another week where I picked all 3 of my NFL teams, and
Can't be a homer, man.
The Steelers and the Panthers. The Panthers should have freaking won. All right.
You can't be a homer, man.
Panthers should have won.
Nah.
That's all I'm saying. But yeah, so now it's not very good. You are 3-1 in your NFL Lone Wolves. Logan is 1-2. I am an astonishing 2-7. It's great times.
Sometimes you just got to get the finger on the pulse of the NFL, man, and I got it. I'm feeling it.
Maybe
I wish I had that for my fantasy teams, but I know how to pick the games.
Maybe I should just pick all the favorites every week and see how that works out.
Just hope for the best.
First game, London again.
London.
The Jags back-to-back weeks in London. They are the away team this week, so they had to switch hotels and everything, which kind of sucks for them. But they are facing the Bills, coming off big win against Miami. Yeah, Bills 5.5. I mean,
yeah,
they're gonna have Von Miller back as well. So sorry, Jags. And the thing is, like, the Jags won by 16 last week against the Falcons, but they didn't look good other than the pick 6.
Yeah.
But a little bit different of a quarterback this week than Desmond Ridder. Total here is 48.5. And I kind of am going with the under because that's a big one in the NFL.
Yeah.
9:30 NFL Network. No Toy Story this week. No Toy Story.
Oh, no, you're doing it again.
The Ravens 4-point favorites at the Steelers.
You're doing it again.
I just like to get hurt, okay?
You're doing this to yourself, man.
I know I'm setting it up again for the Steelers. Disappoint me once again. But look, Kenny Pickett's back. He's going to play. And he's not going to have Pat Freiermuth. But things get spicy when the Steelers and Ravens play. I've been to one of these games. It's fire. And it's in Pittsburgh, which gives the Steelers a huge advantage. Unfortunately, it's a 1:00 game, but I still think the Steelers can get it done. They're going to shock the Ravens at home because that's just what the Steelers do. They beat the Ravens at home. History.
Not with Matt Canada.
Oh, I love when we freeze.
Love it, dude. Yes.
I don't know why this happens or why it started happening like 3 weeks ago.
Mm.
I just need to get a new computer probably.
Man.
But
at least you have just like a wonderful smile on your frozen screen. It's like, oh, he looks so happy. He's gonna be so disappointed.
I know. I'm so happy about my pick.
Yeah,
So happy.
he's gonna be so disappointed when his lone wolf fails once again.
I don't think so. I'm very confident in this one. Total is 38, and it's going to be under because that's how this rivalry goes. Next game, even though you can't see it, it's the Panthers 0-4 at the Lions 3-1. 9.5 for Detroit at home. I did not pick my team on this.
See, he's learning, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we're all on Detroit. It's just the Lions looked really good when I was there in Green Bay last Thursday, and Panthers have struggled. It's going to be tough for Bryce Young most of the year here, but and one thing, like I said in the recap of the Panthers Vikings game, Bryce, you gotta grip the ball tighter, man. I mean, it's coming out way too easily when defenders hit it when he's on the run. So, yeah, gotta grip the ball tighter, not fumble, and give yourself a chance to win the game at least. Total is 45. And I am going, I think, with the over.
Oh. I'm seeing Panthers Lions now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. Oh, now I'm seeing Titans Colts. All right.
I clicked too many times, I think.
Okay.
I don't see it yet. But
I'm seeing Panthers Lions right
now. The next game here, as we're getting back here. There it is.
Oh.
Yeah, the Titans at the Colts. I was kind of surprised no one wanted to go with Tennessee there. But
I'm not super surprised. I mean, even with the loss last week, Colts looked really good against, the Rams. It came up short in the end. But and the Rams have a far more dynamic offense than the Tennessee Titans do. I'm really surprised Titans are 2-2. I think the Colts get this one.
I'm not super confident in it. I just think that the Colts team overall is better, and Jonathan Taylor should be back for this game, hopefully. It's not a great matchup for him, unfortunately, in that regard, but I think Anthony Richardson's going to throw the ball a lot. The Tennessee secondary is horrible. If you can hold up in pass protection against the front, there are definitely openings to throw to. So I think Pittman will have a good day, possibly even Josh Downs. Not starting Josh Downs, though, in fantasy, but he should have a decent day as well. Total's 43. I like the under. Saints at the Patriots. Logan picking the one-armed man team. And I was shocked, too, that it went to a pick 'em. It was -1 for most of the week for New England. And I loved that play even, but now that it's a pick 'em, I love it even more. I don't really understand the reasoning on what this spread is. Again, Derek Carr couldn't throw the ball more than 7 yards last game with his AC joint injury in his throwing shoulder. So I think the Patriots are possibly a better defense than the Bucs. I don't really. They're kind of even, I think, but I think the Patriots offense is better than the Bucs. And that's saying something. But Mac Jones, terrible week last week. I think probably everyone's thinking that that's going to happen again because the New Orleans defense is solid. I don't think so. I think Mac's going to bounce back in this game, and the Patriots are going to get it going through the air, especially. But yeah, Logan. Total here is 40. Under. Texans at the Falcons. Logan again. Logan going on again. I just don't know how. I don't think Logan watched that game in London last week. That's the reason. That's got to be it. Because the Falcons team that I watched in London is not worth picking against a red hot CJ Stroud right now.
Yeah, Desmond Ridder is awful.
Yeah,
just horrendous.
Granted, the Falcons' passing defense is exceptional. I think they're somewhere around 6th to 8th in passing defense right now. Run defense, they are number 2, at least in fantasy against running backs. They're number 2. So, yeah, I think the Falcons defense may be able to cool down the Texans offense a little bit, but I still think they're going to win based off how CJ's playing. And Texans defense is playing pretty decent as well. So I think they pick Ridder off at least once. Total in this one's 41.5. I like the under. Giants at the Dolphins.
A little too obvious with this one.
This is going to be a bloodbath. The Dolphins are going to want to get back right. And this might be another Broncos type game, to be honest. It's in Miami, and they're going to want to, like I said, get back on track. So I don't think the Giants secondary has anyone that can keep up with Tyreek Hill. And while the run defense for New York should be pretty decent, I'm hoping the Dolphins give Achane more touches because, I mean, he ran for, I don't remember how much he ran for. Didn't he run for like over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns on 8 carries?
I think so. I can't remember.
Yeah. They got to get him in more involved in the passing game as well, but and Dolphins really don't throw to the backs a lot, so we'll see. But yeah, I think the Tua to Tyreek should have a massive day in this game. Total here is 48.5. I like the over. 405 slate here. Eagles at the Rams. Logan again going against us.
I think he's trying to catch up to me. He's making some wild picks.
I think my strategy is just to pick the same games as you, so then I can pass Logan. I can eventually pass Logan, and then I'll start picking opposite you so I can try to catch up. But yeah, I understand why. I mean, the Rams are a lot better team than what we thought this game was going to be. And the Eagles haven't put it all together yet, really. So I'm fine with that. I mean, I kind of wish the Eagles were underdogs in this game because that's when Philly's the most dangerous. But, yeah, I mean, they're going to have a tough time running the ball against Aaron Donald. That's why I don't think they're going to run the ball against Aaron Donald. I think they're going to throw the ball against what I think is a porous secondary. And they're going to run outside. They're going to run QB sweeps with Jalen Hurts. They're going to even probably run I think Kenny Gainwell would be a good back to have in this game I don't think DeAndre Swift is the guy to run a lot in this one because he's more of a power guy inside. Kenny Gainwell, though, can get you outside and has the speed to hit the edges. So I think he should have a good game. 50.5 for this game. I like the under. Eagles defense is going to show people something this week, even without Fletcher Cox. Bengals at the Cardinals. Yeah, he did it. He did do it again. He's going wild with the Arizona Cardinals. This man is the only team to pick the Cardinals not once, but twice this year.
Hey, it worked out last time.
No one else has picked the Cardinals. I was close, though. I was thinking about it. They're at home. Josh Dobbs is playing well. The Bengals are not playing well. But I was like, nah. I was like, I cannot pick this team. The Bengals get a little break here, I think. The Cardinals defense got run over last week against Christian McCaffrey. I think that's what they should do. Run the dang ball with Joe Mixon and you'll win. 44.5 here. I like the under. 425 slate. Jets at the Broncos. We are all sipping the Zach Wilson juice.
For me, it wasn't Zach Wilson. It was the defense of the Jets. I think that's what I put my faith in. Zach Wilson did have a pretty good game last week against a very good defense. Very solid. I don't want to say very good defense in the Chiefs. But, like, I look at the Jets' defense, especially their defensive backs, and go, like, there's no way Russell Wilson cooks against this team.
Mine is the Broncos' defense.
True.
The Broncos have the number 32 ranked defense. And by the way, there's only 32 teams for anyone that didn't know that in the NFL. So, yeah, they are ranked last in both passing and run defense. Now, it's tough when you have that 70-point game where the Dolphins put up 730 yards against them and whatnot. But we have seen it in other games with Denver, though. The Justin Fields game, they gave up a crap ton of passing yards, crap ton of rushing yards, and everything in that last week. So, yeah, I like Zach Wilson and this the Jets offense. Breece Hall should go crazy. After the show, I got to get on, look at trying to trade for him in a bunch of leagues, and then sell high next week on Breece Hall. That's the trade and trade scenario, I guess, whatever you want to call it. 43.5 here. I like the over because of the Jets offense. The other 425 game here, Chiefs 3.5-point favorites at the Vikings. I cannot believe it went down. It jumped from 5.5 to 3.5 this week.
How? What did we do?
Vikings bettors, man. Vikings bettors are like, bro, we won a game. We're going to the bowl.
We're stupid, man.
But yeah, I mean, I don't like you said, the Chiefs defense is just so weird because they're not great, but they're not awful.
Yeah. They'll have drives where, like, man, they shut that team down. And then they'll have drives where it's like, man, this is a JV team. And it'll be just so random. And I think, too, another reason why this might be going down, Mahomes didn't have the greatest game last week against the Jets, especially in the second half. He kind of got flustered. And is Taylor Swift attending? Maybe there was news that Taylor Swift wouldn't be there. So the NFL wouldn't rig it in favor of the Chiefs, like, the last two games.
But the Vikings are not the 85 Bears type defense like the Jets are. I do think, though, the Vikings have a really solid chance if they just don't run the ball. because I think what the Vikings should look at is week 1. They should look at that Lions tape because Jared Goff sliced and diced this Chiefs defense. Now, granted, they didn't have the pressure of Chris Jones up front, which is going to be a problem for the Vikings, as you know, with your offensive line.
Oh, I know.
But if you give Kirk just, that extra second, I'm sure that these receivers could find some room with how this Chiefs secondary has kind of struggled this year, I think. I believe this is the highest total of the weekend on the NFL. 52.5.
Damn.
Shootout in Minneapolis. Let's go for it. Let's hit the over.
Why not?
Yeah. Sunday Night Football. This is what everyone came to see. Cowboys at the Niners. 4-point favorites. That should be 6 now. They have Randy Gregory, right? But yeah, this is an interesting one. The Cowboys are this is a game between the league's number 1 overall graded team on PFF, the number 4 overall graded team on PFF. The Cowboys offense is only ranked 12th, but the Niners offense is graded as the second best offense behind the Dolphins. And this game also features the number 1 graded defense in the Niners against the number 2 graded defense in the Cowboys by a 1/10 of a point, 88.4, 88.3. So is going to be a good one. But I think the Niners win. The Cowboys offense is the weakest unit in this game. So, and the thing is, we haven't seen Dak have to win a game this season yet. Total is 45. I like the over.
Really? I was thinking under on this one.
I mean, it's a primetime matchup, and I know they have excellent defenses. I don't know. I just think they're going to score. And I think the Micah Parsons not being 100% is a lot more impactful than Debo not being 100%. 8:20 NBC. Monday Night Football, the Packers at the Raiders. This one was crazy line movement as well. Earlier in the week, it was Packers -1. But I think the Jimmy G news as the week went on, knowing that Jimmy G was going to play, I think slid the line in favor of the Raiders now, which I get. But again, the Packers are the better team. As much as they were terrible when I watched them on Thursday night last week.
Hey, who was the lone wolf in that one?
I don't know. This random dude.
Only God knows, I guess.
But yeah, I think Jordan Love and the Packers offense will get back on track in this game. Aaron Jones, another week to get healthier. And they should use, please, dear Lord, Matt LaFleur, use number 33. That is how you win the game. Throw to him, run him, let him throw the ball, whatever. Give 33 the freaking rock, and he will lead you to victory. That's what the Raiders are saying about number 8 on the other side, Josh Jacobs as well. So, or if you want to go Devontae Adams, but with Jimmy G coming off the concussion, I think they'll look at that Lions tape from last week and like lick their chops because of what David Montgomery did. And maybe Josh Jacobs has a big day. But I think the Raiders' run defense isn't great. The Packers should run the ball, please, because look what happened when you throw it 1,000,000 times. You lose the game. Total's 44.5. I like the under. 8:15 ABC ESPN. Best bets of the week. I'm not doing terrible. I'm hovering around 500 right now. We haven't had an 0-3 week yet. I'm knocking on my wood right here. Because I haven't been bad, but I haven't been 0-3, haven't been 3-0 yet. So we'll see. Maybe this is the week. I slid some of these lines to update them. Patriots pick them against the Saints. Again, I just think the Patriots offense is going to be the key unit in that game. They are going to win the game. I think Mac Jones has a bounce back week after Belichick's worst loss of his career. Dolphins -11 against the Giants. No problem there. Like I said, I think they're going to light the Giants defense up. And even without Teron Armstead, Giants for their benefit, they should flip Kayvon Thibodeau. They should have Thibodeau rush against the left tackle. Without Teron Armstead, that might be a matchup they can exploit. But yeah, I think they should blow the Giants out of Miami there. And then the Chiefs -3.5 at the Vikings. Why not? I mean,
why not, man?
I mean,
yeah, I'm already checking.
I'm
already checking out this season, so I mean, just hit me with it. Give me like a 48-10 game, and just let me drink my sorrows away.
Mahomes isn't gonna throw 2 picks again, back-to-back weeks. So, yeah, 1 and 2 last week. Oh, by the way, last week's best bets were the one I won was the Seahawks on Monday night. Pick them at the Giants. The other 2 were pretty bad losses. Bengals -2.5 at the Titans. They lost 27-3. And the Patriots +6.5 at the Cowboys. They also only scored 3 points and gave up 38.
Ouch.
Lock standings. We all got it last week. You are still in the lead by 1, sir. Over Logan and I, 2-2. And last week, you and I were together on the Chargers. Mm-hmm. We got that one done over the Raiders. And Logan was copping out again, picking the dang Chiefs, who were 9.5-point favorites against the Jets, and they barely won. But we don't do spreads in the locks. We only do wins.
Only do wins.
Look at Logan again, bro. He's going with the Chiefs.
Boring.
He's going with the Chiefs against the Vikings, which I understand, but again,
I get it.
This one is better though. At least it's just 3.5 this week.
Yeah,
I'm sticking with the Patriots, man. I like that. I like that matchup, and Billy B is not going to lose 2 in a row after his worst loss of his career. You, sir, are going with the Bills in jolly old London.
Of course.
Yeah. Got to get a London pick in or an international pick every once in a while, right?
Dude, international love. I'm like Pitbull out here.
Dogs. You and Logan went 2-0 last week. Logan jumped me now as I went 0-2. You, sir, are Mr. Underdog. Perfect.
Like artful.
You and Logan were together on the Dogs last week. Texans +3 against the Steelers. My dog was almost as bad as my 2 losses in the best bets. I had the Dolphins +2.5 at the Bills. I think that was 48-20. I think was that one. I can't remember how many the Dolphins scored. Not enough. And this week we're all different. Logan liking the Colts +2.5 against the Texans, which you and I are also on the Colts train, or not the Texans. It's the Titans. My bad. I am on the Jets, sipping the Zach Wilson juice +2.5 at the Broncos. I like that one. They should win easily against that defense. And then you are on the CJ Stroud train, Texans +2 at the Falcons. Logan's lone wolf there on Atlanta.
Yeah, I got to pick them. Listen, I I talk crap about CJ Stroud, and he's making me in the preseason. He's making me eat my words. So I gotta believe in the guy. He's proven me wrong.
Yeah, you're back to back on the Texans there and the dog picks.
They're my guys. I can't bet against them.
Well, I mean, in the on the locks, this is your second time in 3 weeks picking the Bills as well.
I like the Bills, man.
That is a show for today. Thank y'all for watching. We'll be back next Friday. Next Friday, it will not be a Friday show. We'll have to figure something out Saturday or Thursday. I will be traveling on Friday next week. But we'll be back sometime next end of next week, talking week 6. We'll get you your Thursday night game recap and game previews, college week 7, NFL week 6 as well. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media at FAA Podcast on Instagram and X, at FAA_bets on X as well. FAApodcast.com is our website. Check us out here on YouTube, Facebook, and X, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and TikTok at Football Addicts Anon. And don't forget to come back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, to learn some about some wide receivers. Saturday Scout School streaming on Facebook and X. Again, thank y'all for watching. See y'all back tomorrow morning.
See ya.